Hey, this is Chan Skill bringing you another ZX video on a new deck that I'm selling. There's been a lot of requests for decks to be built and sold, and I'm just going to say it right out. Like, I just don't have the cards to make decent decks. Like, I don't want to sell someone a deck that looks like a trial deck with a bunch of other shit like SR shoved into like the back end of it, and then say it's a good deck, because that's just really not how I do things. Anywho, so that's kind of like my motto, really. You know, if I sell you a deck, it probably is as good as it gets with the current for its price. That's what I'm gonna say. So this one is another Fiiyu deck, similar to the one I have, but the one I have I'll be changing later when Set 3 comes out into a Lycanthrope based deck. But this one is a Horai deck with Fiiyu. So it comes with the player card of Souma Kenbuchi, which is him, and Fiiyu in that corner. And let's get right onto the deck. So right off the bat we have 3 Maiden of the Forest Fiiyu. For those of you who do not know what she does, 8 cost, 9.5k, pretty solid stats to be honest, for what she does. When you play her, you can play a card from your resource that is 6 cost or lower onto the field, onto a normal square in rest. So, of course, it doesn't really, like, you know, get something into play and you get a double attack. But mainly Fiiyu is supposed to be used with other lycanthropes. So you can play her, get a Were-Squirrel, I think it is, and then Were-Squirrel's effect will give another card on the field plus 2,000 times the number of lycanthropes you have. So that would be 2, because she and Fiiyu are both lycanthropes. So then Fiiyu become 13-5, which is huge. You just smash people in the face with it. Mainly you want to get cards that do something on play because they are inactive for 1 turn. So yeah, Fiiyu is very good. There's only 3 in this deck because I only have 3 spare. I would definitely play one more if anyone who buys this deck would get one, or if I get one more in the future, which I probably won't, because yeah, just yeah. And next we have 3 Vajra of Nobility Mokuren. Her effect is that when you play her, you can select a Horai from your charge and add it to your mana. Now this card is it's subtle. It's very subtly good. The reason why it's good is because when you play this, you take a card from your charge and add it to your mana. Very simple, right? But why is that good? It's because if you didn't want to mana, you don't have to now, because you got a free mana. So your charge basically became a +1 because you save a card so that you don't have to mana, and it's there, and if you don't want it, you have all the choices in the world. As a 6 cost 9k, it's pretty decent. Mainly one of the best choices is to play Fiiyu, revive this, and then send a card back into your mana so you stay at 8. So you can play another Fiiyu next turn. But there's some other choices that are pretty good. Fiiyu is kind of a double-edged sword in this deck. Although it gives you advantage, it kind of takes away from some of the cards, like this one. This one is like Crested Beetle, Thorn Beetle, or something. This card is very powerful. 5 cost, 6.5k. When you have 9 or more resource, it becomes a 9.5. Now that is huge for a 5 cost, especially because it's an uncommon. It's not even an SR, and it's especially good because 9 mana is very easy. 9 mana is not a condition that you need to meet. You play Fiiyu, and then you get Vajra of Nobility, stack a card back into your mana, play mana next turn, play this guy. It's like 9.5. He's very good, and as a 6.5, he's not terrible. Of course, you don't want to play him as a 6.5, but you know, if you have to, you have to. For Bow of Abstinence Satsuki, she gives 1k global to all Horai on your field that you control. Not really on your field, because there's not really a field. Anyways, she's very good. One of the main targets for Fiiyu, because you put her in the back in the corner, and then they have to deal with Fiiyu. So they can't actually deal with her and Fiiyu at the same time. So when you get to untap with her, you get to play other Horais, and now they're just all stronger. Having the extra 1k boost to all your Horais means that their ignitions don't beat your ignitions. That's basically the most important part. 2, Fiiyu is always energetic. The reason why this card is pretty good is because if you hit it with an ignition, it serves once again as a pseudo +1, because you get a mana, you don't have to mana next turn if you didn't want to. And also, like, if you are at 9 mana, which is very, very often, you keep at 9 mana and you stay there. You play this card, you get a mana, and the second ability to this card is that when you play this card, you can add the top card of their deck to your mana, and then if you have 10 or more mana after that, you may add another. So effectively, this gives you 2 mana when you're at 9 mana, which is pretty good. Of course, the generic green removal, 3 Good Night. It's one of the best removal cards in the game, I will not lie. It's simple, you play it and you send 1 card to resource. Recently we found out that green isn't really as good as we once thought, simply because I had more cards for green and the other cards just couldn't compare. But, you know, I think this game is pretty balanced. I don't think green is the best anymore, not by a long shot. The next deck profile I'm going to do will show, like, I've been doing amazing with that deck. That deck is so good, and it's very consistent too, so I'll talk about that later. 3 King of the Beasts Werelion. This guy is generic 4 cost 6.5. The main reason why I run it is because I am running 4 of his combo card, which is I don't remember the names, like Uninhibited, Sickle, and Balm or something. I don't care. But mainly, it's a combo card, so they make a picture like all combo cards do. And his effect is that if he's on the field, he gains 2k, which puts him at 6.5, which is big. I mean, 6.53 cost is big. Yeah. This deck is more of an aggro-oriented deck. It has a very nice curve, where you can just go creature, 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 Fiiyu, and then you do something, and they have to deal with their stuff. You can go Fiiyu again, or like double creature, because now you're at 8 mana. There's a lot of strong 4 mana cards. You can just play 2 creatures, 2 big creatures, or 2 good creatures, and then it's more of a tempo-y, aggro-y deck. Instead of the traditional green where you just go mana, 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 play card advantage, play card advantage, play card advantage, kill your guy, play card advantage, mana, 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 and doing that stuff. So yeah, 4 Dignified Hairpin Kuruki? I know it's not Kuroyuki. It's like Kuruki or something, I don't know. But basically it's a 4 cost 6.5 Horai. Once again, these are very underrated. In a deck that is a bit greedy with their cards, like most of my decks actually, a lot of 4 costs have good effects, but they only have 5k. Now, if you play this on turn 4 and you attack, generally people can't get rid of it unless they like hit an ignition and play a card. Now, the thing about this is that it only works against people who are playing greedy 4 costs. So something like the administrator that draws you a card, or maybe the creature that goes in your mana, the leafer that goes in your mana when it dies, you can get a lot of value off this card, just because it's a vanilla 4 6.5. One of the better cards of this deck, the Breaking Bamboo Fan Kino whatever the fuck, I have no idea what he's called. It's just way too long. Like when I put it on the Word document, it's just like, and then it's like, okay then. Anywho, he has a very good effect. When you, so it's an has an activate ability, which means you can activate it during your opponent's battle phase or on your turn, but his effect states you can't use it on your turn, so it's basically on your opponent's battle phase. You can tap 1 Horai on your field to give it 3k. That's not itself. Now, why is that so good? Well, it means it's a 4 cost 9k on defense. Now, a 5 cost vanilla cannot beat that. You know how good that is? That is amazing. That a 5 cost cannot beat this card by itself. So you just go, alright, plop it down, they can't beat it, you double attack next turn, you just get so much advantage off this guy because he is so powerful. He is such a good card. Of course, he loses to removal, like every other creature in this game, so not much to say about that. 2 Unify Earth, 3 costs, send a card 4 cost or lower to their mana. I don't know why it's 4 cost or lower, because every other card is 3 cost or lower, but they just decided that since adding to resource, because technically when you think about it, if you use the same mentality as I'm using, if you add a card to your resource, you kind of plus, in the sense that You don't have your mana anymore. I'm sorry, I'm yawning a lot, but because it's like 3 a.m., I'm really tired. But it's okay. I'll do stuff for ZX. I'll stay up. Anywho, so very good card. Definitely a good card. I only play 2 because the general removal lineup is like 3, 4 good night, 2 of these, and 2 of the horizontal halberd strikes. Now this card targets the highest power ZX that your opponent controls and sends it to resource. Now this card is pretty good. I like controlled destruction better, but generally you'll hit what you want with it. That's generally how it goes. Were-Bear as your starter, just because a friend wanted it to be the starter. If not, you could use the Horai starter, which is good with the Breaking Bamboo fan dude, because you can tap him to give power, because he's going to be useless here anyways. So, yeah, but in general, he wanted that, so this is kind of directed to him, but if you guys want to outbid him, by all means. And then you can change up the card. 4 of the Horai heal life recovery, heal trigger, whatever you'd like to call it. Typical 3 cost 5k ignition, so not much to say. I only have 3 of these left. This is your typical 3 cost 5k ignition. These are both Horai, so it works well. And unfortunately this card isn't, who would have thought, it is a leafer for some goddamn reason, but this is your Voidbringer, so it's pretty good. Voidbringers are those cards that aggro decks hate to go against. It's like, oh ho ho, Voidbringer, you suck, and then you just go downhill from there. But it's okay, really. So this deck currently is going for 200, 118 actually, plus. Wait, no, sorry, not 200, 120. Sorry, that's a big difference. And if you guys want to bid for this deck, don't leave a comment. You can leave it, but I won't really pay much attention to it. PM me on YouTube to Difference in Scale, or you can go to the Facebook group. There's a Facebook group. I think it's called ZX Pro. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I think it's called ZX Pro. I think that's what it's called. If you can't find it, I'll put it in the description box below. I want the community to grow a bit more, so I'm just definitely going to promote all the crap out of this stuff. So yeah, this is the deck that I'm selling. It's it's pretty good. It's one of those average aggro-y decks that just turn cards sideways, but at the same time it has Fiiyu, so it's nice. And green always gives you the options to do fancy things. Even though there's not many options in this deck, it's still pretty fucking fun. So yeah, this is Channel of Different Skill, bringing you the green deck that I'm selling right now. So see you guys later. Bye.